You might think it makes little difference whether the meat on your plate is halal. After all, the end product looks the same. But the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam mandated ihsan, excellence, in the very taking of an animal's life. While modern industry treats livestock like soulless machines on a line, he forbade even sharpening a blade in front of an animal, so it would never taste fear before the knife. And the cut required for halal, swift with a razor-sharp blade to the neck while sparing the spinal cord, is one of the most merciful deaths there is. Severing the great vessels cuts off the blood supply to the brain, so consciousness slips away, while draining the blood, the very thing decay and bacteria feed on. In modern times, we slaughter more efficiently than ever before. Hundreds of animals processed in the hours it once took to honor a single one, and somewhere in that system, we stopped caring whether the animal felt fear. We stopped asking how it died. We began to see meat as a weight and a price, rather than a creation of Allah. Even among Muslims who only eat halal, many of us have never witnessed a slaughter. We trust the label and we move on. The Prophet ﷺ said in a hadith recorded in Sahih Muslim, Allah has prescribed ihsan, excellence, in all things. He then named slaughter specifically, let each of you sharpen his blade and spare suffering to the animal he slaughters. And he did not stop there. In a narration recorded by Ibn Majah, he commanded that the knife be sharpened and kept hidden from the animal, and that once begun, the cut be swift. In a narration of Ibn Abbas, he saw a man sharpening his blade while the sheep lay pinned beneath him, watching, and he said, "Do you want to kill it twice? Why did you not sharpen your blade before you laid it down?" Killing it twice, once with fear, once with the knife. This is a standard so precise that it accounts for the animal's psychological state. 14 centuries before the modern world ever spoke the words animal welfare. Then comes Bismillah, in the name of Allah.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim.
This is not just a ritual phrase, it is a declaration of ownership, or rather, the absence of it. It says, I did not create this life, I do not own it, and I have no right to take it except by the permission of the one who did. With that utterance, the act changes in nature. The animal is acknowledged as a creation of Allah, and its life is returned to Him with gratitude. That is the line between a transaction and an act of worship. And that is a line that holds regardless of scale. Whether one animal or thousands, the obligation to say it and to honor what it represents does not shrink because the operation is larger. Now follow the blade, because this is where mercy and biology become a single motion. A razor-sharp blade drawn swiftly across the throat, severing the carotid arteries and the jugular veins in a single, uninterrupted motion, while deliberately sparing the spinal cord. When done this way, the blood supply to the brain collapses and consciousness fades. Modern welfare research confirms what these conditions always implied. It is the sharpness of the blade and the swiftness of the cut that determine whether this is mercy or cruelty. A clean cut is a quick release. A careless one causes needless suffering. And notice what the cut leaves intact: the spinal cord. The brain's link to the heart is not severed, so the heart does not stop. For those crucial moments, it keeps beating, and a beating heart is a pump. This is why the animal must be alive at the moment of slaughter. A living, beating heart drives the blood out through the open vessels, draining the body far more completely than a still heart ever could. The same sharp blade that spares the animal is the blade that empties it of blood. The mercy and the purity are one cut. And the mercy does not end with the animal, it passes into the meat itself. Begin with the blood. Allah named blood among what He has forbidden us to consume in more than one place in the Quran, and the slaughter is what removes it. Of everything in the body, blood is among the richest grounds for bacteria to grow. Warm, Protein-rich, the ideal soil for spoilage. Meat left heavy with blood sours faster, and the hemoglobin trapped inside it drives the very oxidation that turns flesh rancid. In one study, animals slaughtered the lawful way, alive, unstunned, lost more blood, left less hemoglobin in the muscle, and produced meat that stayed fresh and stable in storage longer than animals that were stunned and killed before they were bled. Less blood meant fewer bacteria. Then consider the calm. When an animal arrives at slaughter already stressed, crowded, agitated, exposed to the smell of blood and the sight of what awaits it, its body floods with stress hormones in its final moments, and food science confirms what that does. Pre-slaughter stress depletes the muscles of their natural energy reserves, disrupting the chemistry the body undergoes after death. And that disruption shows up directly in the meat, in its texture, its color, how much moisture it retains, and how long it keeps. So the prophetic insistence on calm, the hidden blade, the gentle handling, the swift end, was never sentiment alone. The kindness is written into what you eat. The standard set for the animal's final moments is the same standard that protects what reaches your table. What the modern world divides into separate concerns, animal welfare in one place, food safety in another, Halal has always treated as one. So pause and reflect today. Where does your meat come from? Do you know whether the life behind it was honored? And when you eat, do you remember that a life was taken by the permission of Allah so that you could be nourished? Honor the life. Honor the way it ends. Honor the one who permitted it. May Allah make us a people who honor what He has permitted and guard what we allow into our bodies. Ameen.